Welcome to the Back Porch Top Podcast. I'm your coach, Jason.
Your co-host Danny.
Fans, we got a full show for you today. NBA playoffs are upon us and a little NFL, but y'all know what to do. Go ahead and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and tell 3, 4, 10, 100 friends that the Back Porch Talk Podcast is here. Danny, right into NBA playoffs and where it is here. It is upon us. And man, there's a whole lot of action this past weekend. I'm gonna start with Raptors Cavaliers. Cavaliers blows out the Raptors 126-113. I don't think the score was indicative of the game. Both teams put in their benches and it went from there pretty much. 116-105 Nuggets over the Timberwolves. Danny, I'm really intrigued by this series. I'm interested to see what happens tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Will the Timberwolves come back? I believe so. Jokic goes for a triple-double, 25, 13, and 11. Anthony Edwards goes for a 22, 9, and 7. I think the Timberwolves will battle back in game two and win game two in Denver. Another series, a game of note, the Knicks versus the Hawks. I think the Hawks are going to surprise many.
Mm-hmm.
But the Knicks, they won on Saturday, 113-102. They win game one, and Karl Anthony Towns, 25, 8, and 3. But watch this series. Rockets Lakers standing. Got word about KD not being able to play due to a knee contusion, and I immediately said this series is not going to be a series without KD. 107-98, Lakers prevail. LeBron goes for 19, 8, and 13 assists. Luke Kennard, I believe, goes for 27 points. Rockets need KD to make this a series. What say you about the Saturday slate of games, Danny?
Yeah, Cleveland, they had total control of that game. I thought the Raptors would put up more of a fight,
Mm-hmm.
and we do know this is game one, so adjustments will be made. The nerves are out. Get that first game jitters out the way from the Raptors' perspective because they didn't look the greatest on Saturday. And kudos to the Cavaliers for taking care of business and holding home court. Nuggets, Timberwolves. T-Wolves were winning first half, tied at halftime, back and forth, even early in the fourth quarter, and the Nuggets pulled away later in that quarter, in the fourth. From the Timberwolves' perspective, man, they don't move the ball. Like watching them play, it's Anthony Edwards one on one, or Julius Randle one on one, or whatever players one on one. I think they need a little more flow and motion to the offense to put Denver in some more precarious positions because if they just were just one on one, either firing up a three or trying to take it to the basket, but I think some more pick and roll action. I know Rudy Gobert is not the best on that from that front, but he actually had a decent game. He was doing pretty well against Jokic on the defensive end. He got a couple of ticky-tack fouls, but Jokic, man, he came through in the second half for him. Jamal Murray had a big game. So I'm looking forward to this game as well tonight to see how Minnesota bounces back, or does Denver, take control 2-0. Knicks Hawks first game. I thought the Hawks may be a little shaky because this is a lot of their first time in the playoffs, and that showed. But they kept it decently close. It was 2-point game at half, and New York ended up pulling away towards the end, but another game, man. I want to see what the Hawks look like in game two. Like I said, 113-102. First game, we'll see what happens and see if the Knicks can, take 2-0 lead. And Lakers Rockets, Luke Kennard, man, big third and fourth quarters. He had some big threes for the
Big
Lakers.
threes. Mm-hmm.
And he made some plays that, because that game was back and forth. Lakers pulled away towards the end, but the Rockets had numerous opportunities. They just couldn't take advantage of it. If you watch the Rockets too, as another team that just looked out of sorts. KD obviously being a big piece missing, being a game time, and he's a game time decision for the next game. But they had no continuity in their offense, which they haven't really, if you think about it, all year because they haven't had a point guard. So this has been one of the things I've been mentioning with them is that lack of point guard, which I thought they should have got one at the trade deadline. So now,
Agreed.
uh,
Yep.
now we'll see how they bounce back. But the Lakers take a game, man, and if they can steal another game here, that'll put them in a great position, especially being at home. So they got a whole serve and going back to Houston and assuming KD plays in game two.
And now Danny on to the Sunday slate of games and where man, they were all blowouts, man. This is be real. The 76ers Celtics game, man, I turned it on and Danny, I was like, I know Joel Embiid's not playing, but maybe 76ers can at least hold on. And that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the case, man. This was a blowout. 123 to 91. Jason Tatum comes back pretty strong, 25 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, this was a total and complete blowout. I'm interested in how the 76ers respond on another day's worth of rest. The Suns Thunder. Come on, man. Do I need to even talk about this game? 119 and 84. You kidding me? Enough said. The surprise, I think, of the first round so
Mm-hmm.
far, the Orlando Magic goes into Detroit and beats Detroit 112-101. And man, I didn't see this coming.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this is that it could be a gentleman's sweep. Maybe this is that one that Orlando gets, but this puts Detroit on the heels a little bit.
Yep.
They got to come out and win game two, that being Detroit, because otherwise history doesn't show well for a team being down 0-2, especially in the first round. Man, you kidding me? Spurs, Trailblazers, 111-98. Spurs win. Wemby goes for like 37, or excuse me, 35. He breaks the Spurs record for first timers in a playoff and beating out Tim Duncan and Danny. I mean, kudos to the Trailblazers for being competitive this year, considering everything that they've gone through, especially at the coaching position. But
Yep.
we know what time it is. What say you about the Sunday slate of playoff games?
With the Celtics 76ers, I thought the Sixers would put up more of a fight. I was like you, man. I turned it on, watched for a little bit, and as that lead expanded, I'm like, all right, there ain't no need to continue watching this. This is bad. Same for the Suns and
Hmm.
Thunder. Suns at least have an excuse where they just play Friday night. They had, the play-in tournament or playing games. So they look bad, but Oklahoma City put it on them. And then the Magic Pistons game, the Magic took that momentum from Friday night where they bully balled the Charlotte Hornets. And this was the Orlando Magic team that a lot of people expected earlier in the season. And then they just weren't playing up to expectations. And they were injured, of course, like a lot of teams. Some back and forth with the head coach and players. But the way they put it to Detroit, they are the team that can match Detroit's toughness. They're big, they're aggressive, they don't back down. And I saw that, and then like last in that fourth quarter when Franz Wagner went off, and when he had that dunk, I was like, "Uh oh, Detroit, y'all better watch out." So you just don't know if Orlando can keep this going. Obviously, they've had like Phoenix, a number of games in the last few
Hmm.
days with the play-in, and how do they play in that second game? But this has to give them some confidence that they can beat Detroit. Cade put up a good game. What, he had 39?
Yeah,
Um, but
39.
but Durant didn't do anything, and they need him to step up in order for them to have success in this series. Where he took 4 shots. That's not going to cut it. Uh,
Mm-mm. No, not at all.
so
Not at all.
he has to play bigger. But like I said, man, Orlando has size and they have gritty dudes. Desmond Bain and Suggs at the guards. And if Franz is feeling better and Paolo and they do their thing, man, it's gonna be a tough matchup. Put it like that. It was actually good to see somebody actually win from an upset perspective.
Hmm.
And then the Spurs, Trailblazers, man, it was Wemby making plays. That team looked good. Portland put up a fight. It wasn't like they bowed out early or anything. They, tried to go toe to toe with them, but they just didn't have enough. And it was also cool to see Tim Duncan and David Robinson on the sidelines
Yeah, yeah.
observing. So that was pretty cool to see, man, because it was like, they're sitting there acknowledging the team, Wemby's greatness. So we'll see what happens in game two, but they look strong.
And tonight's games, there are three games on tonight: Raptors, Cavaliers, Hawks, Knicks, and Timberwolves, Nuggets. That Timberwolves Nuggets game is the one I want to see, but that one is late. So I'll probably be watching the highlights. One other piece of news from the NBA, Danny, with regards to the NBA viewership, and it says that the NBA says that 170 million people watched the regular season, which is up 86% from last year. This is due to the many platforms that the NBA is on, um, whether it's ABC, ESPN, Amazon Prime, NBC Peacock, and NBA TV. I'll say this, Danny, about these numbers. Interested in knowing more. And what I mean by that is, I know it was hard to find some of these games that I really wanted to see, right? I mean, granted, you
Mhm.
can look at the ticker, ESPN, or go to what games are being played, and they'll typically have what channel's going to be on. But yeah, I'm just curious as is this because of the number of platforms it's on? Because
Mhm.
before it was just TNT, ESPN maybe, and NBA TV. That's it.
Mhm.
So is the fact that it is now on NBC Peacock and Amazon Prime is giving that many viewers? I'm just curious.
Mhm.
I'm just curious as to that, Danny. Are they cooking the numbers? If the numbers are up,
Mhm.
what's the motivation for the players to not load manage?
Mhm.
If the numbers are up and players are still load managing, I mean,
Yep.
so I think the NBA still has a big problem here, quite honestly. And so that's why I want to look more into the numbers and really kind of see what happens here. What say you, Danny?
I think one thing, Jason, of note is being on NBC and, regular, over the air TV and not cable may improve that number.
Hmm.
I don't think it's, I wouldn't think it's that substantial based on the numbers you share with me. And then I checked it out afterward after seeing that. A breadth of different avenues to watch the games. Like you said, low managing, these teams tanking,
Hmm.
I thought would turn people off more than anything.
Hmm.
So that's where some of this stuff, yes, it smells fishy. But we've seen this from other professional organizations make these claims of viewership being up. So, what is the actual baseline that they're using to call out these numbers? The only thing I can see is it going to NBC versus TNT because TNT is on cable. So, people have easier access to the NBC games, but it's not like they have the NBC games on all the time.
And lastly, Danny, just a note here: the NFL has the draft this coming Thursday. The draft will be happening in Pittsburgh. Should be a fun draft. We'll see what happens. I think there's a lot of moves that's going to be made prior to. There's a rumor about Brown from the Eagles going to the England Patriots June 1st. We'll see what happens with that. But I think there's going to be some more moves happening prior to the draft. What say you, Danny?
Well, Jason, since my Falcons don't have a first round pick, I'm not as interested in the first day. uh, I will be checking it out, of course, because it is a draft. But we traded our first round pick to the Rams, who have picked 13 in the first round. Now it's for James Pierce Jr., who is currently in some hot water. I think this is a lesson learned from the Falcons' perspective, and that regime is gone who traded the pick to not mortgage the future like that, especially when you're not cream of the crop. You're middling. You need those picks, uh,
Hmm.
as we've
Hmm.
seen in the past. And not to say James Pierce Jr. wasn't a great player last year for us. It's just a matter of now. with him being in trouble, it's just bad luck. And now you don't have a first round pick. So they don't start picking until pick 48 in the second round.
Mm.
So curious to see if they're one of those teams that tries to move up to get a player, or do they just stand pat and just roll what they have? Because they do have some needs as well as like all these other teams. Receiver, cornerback, or
Mhm.
just a couple off the top of my head. So we'll see what they do. But no, looking forward to it, man. And where does Jeremiah Love end up? I think that's the name that I'm curious to see. Does he end up with Cardinals, Titans, where? Commanders? So that's the one person I would say for sure I'm looking forward to seeing where he lands and how he impacts the team.
Thank you for joining us at Back Porch Talk Podcast. You can also join us on Twitter by tweeting us at back_podcast. For more information, you can go to our website, which is backporchtalkpodcast.com. You can also email us at backporchtalkpodcast@gmail.com. Again, thank you for joining us, and remember that there's enough hate in the world, so go ahead and spread a little love.